opportunity, greater influence, and a life shaped deliberately rather than accidentally. This is not an exaggerated promise, it is the natural outcome of behavior repeated consistently over time. Continue clicking forward, continue acting with intention, continue honoring your decisions, and allow discipline to quietly deliver what motivation never could: stability, strength, clarity, control, and a future built by choice rather than chance. To awareness, to return to responsibility, and to return to the part of yourself that knows you are capable of more whole, not because everything is perfect, but because you are learning to accept yourself as you are while still believing in who you are becoming, and this balance between acceptance and growth is the quiet strength that carries you through uncertainty, reminding you that you are not lost, you are learning, not failing, you are evolving, and not alone, you are supported by your own resilience, your own awareness, and your own capacity to rise, again and again, with greater understanding and steadier hope. Faithfulness, the faithfulness to show up, to listen, to speak honestly, and to act with compassion, and in this faithfulness, the deepest form of loss is prevented, not by changing fate, but by honoring the present, and not by fighting time, but by using it wisely, because what truly keeps something alive is not hope alone, but attention, not intention alone, but action, and not emotion alone, but the steady choice to care before it is too late to make a difference. Moving whether you act or not, but only your actions decide whether you grow or remain where you are. This is not a warning to scare you, it is a reminder to empower you, to shake you awake, and to tell you that the power to change has always been in your hands. Start now, not because you feel ready, but because your future deserves your effort today. You walk forward knowing that you were created with intention, that you are capable of achieving more than you can currently see, and that the universe is preparing beautiful things that will align perfectly with your growth. You are meant to rise, meant to shine, meant to impact the world simply by being yourself. Continue your journey with hope in your heart and confidence in your spirit, because the best chapters of your life are not behind you, they are waiting ahead, and I am with you in every step you take. Stop making excuses and start making moves is the moment your life begins to change. You do not need permission, you do not need approval, and you do not need perfect conditions. You only need the courage to start and the strength to continue even when it gets hard, because it will get hard, and that is exactly why most people will never reach their potential, but you will, because you are no longer waiting, you are awakening. And when a person awakens to their power, nothing can stop them. Not fear, not failure, not even their own past. Remember that even stars cannot shine without darkness, and one day you will look back and realize that every setback was simply part of the setup for your comeback. Your dreams are calling you because they know you are capable, and the world is waiting for the moment you finally realize that too. Keep going with fire in your heart, possibilities in your mind, discipline in your actions, and faith in your steps, because the life you want is. Take a slow breath and stay here for a moment. Sometimes the reminder you're looking for isn't outside you, it's already with you. Right there in your phone. A note you once saved. A photo that meant something. A goal you wrote when you still believed without hesitation. Before you scroll again, pause. Not because something is urgent, but because you deserve a moment of clarity. You've been carrying more strength than you realize. Every day you show up, even when motivation is low. Every time you choose to continue instead of quitting. These small decisions are building something solid inside you. You don't always feel it, but it's there. Quiet. Steady. Growing. You don't need a perfect plan to move forward. You need presence. Awareness. One honest step. Progress doesn't begin with pressure, it begins with attention. Attention to how you speak to yourself. Attention to where your time goes. Attention to what actually matters to you. There were times you felt behind. Times you questioned your pace. But your pace is not wrong. It's yours. Growth is not a race. It's alignment. When your actions start matching your values, life feels clearer, even if it's not easier. Look at how much you've already learned. From mistakes. From waiting. From starting over. You didn't waste that time. You built perspective. You built resilience. You built patience. These are not small things. They are foundations. Right now, choose calm over rush. Choose clarity over noise. Choose consistency over intensity. Small actions repeated with intention will always outlast bursts of effort fueled by pressure. You are allowed to rest without guilt. Rest is not quitting. It's refueling. Protect your energy. Guard your focus. The future you want requires a version of you that is steady, not burned out. There will be days when doubt visits. Let it pass. Doubt is a question, not an answer. Respond with action. Respond with discipline. Respond with kindness toward yourself. You don't need to become someone else to succeed. You need to become more honest with who you already are. Your strengths grow when you use them consistently. Your confidence grows when you keep promises to yourself. Pay attention to the quiet wins. Showing up on time. Finishing what you started. Choosing patience. These moments compound. Over time, they become momentum. You don't have to control everything. You only need to control your effort and your attitude. Let go of what you can't change. Invest in what you can improve. Your worth is not measured by comparison. Someone else's progress does not reduce yours. Stay focused on your lane. Depth beats speed when you want something that lasts. You are becoming more grounded. More aware. More capable. Even when it doesn't feel dramatic. Especially then. Growth is often quiet before it's visible. Return to what's already in your hands. The tools you have. The skills you're building. The reminders you saved. And as you stay with this moment, you begin to realize that you don't need to rush your growth. Rushing only creates noise. Clarity comes when you slow down enough to actually listen to yourself. The world is always asking for more, faster, louder, but your progress doesn't respond to pressure. It responds to consistency. You've been carrying answers inside you longer than you think. Sometimes hidden in reminders, sometimes in lessons you learned the hard way, sometimes in quiet thoughts you ignored because life felt too busy. Now is the time to reconnect with them. Not all at once. One by one. Gently. You don't need to fix everything today. You only need to be honest today. Honest about what drains you. Honest about what excites you. Honest about what you've been avoiding. Honesty clears confusion faster than motivation ever will. You are allowed to grow slowly. Slowly is still forward. Slowly builds roots. And roots matter when life starts shaking things around you. What grows too fast often breaks easily. What grows steadily lasts. There will be moments when you feel stuck again. That doesn't mean you failed. It means you reached a layer that needs patience, not force. Sit with it. Learn from it. Then move again when clarity returns. You are learning to trust the process instead of fighting it. Trust doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you stop doubting every step. You keep walking even when you don't see the full path yet. Notice how your mindset is changing. You no longer need constant motivation to continue. Discipline is slowly taking its place. Discipline doesn't shout. It shows up quietly, every day, even when emotions fluctuate. You are becoming someone who finishes things. Someone who follows through. Someone who doesn't abandon themselves when things get uncomfortable. That identity shift is powerful. It changes outcomes before they even appear. You don't need external validation to move forward anymore. You are learning to validate yourself. When you know you gave your best effort, that's enough to rest peacefully. Pay attention to your inner voice. Not the critical one, but the steady one. The one that reminds you to keep going without panic. That voice grows stronger the more you listen to it. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to become who you're meant to be next. Every step you take from here carries more awareness than before. Stay present. Stay patient. Stay consistent. The journey you're on is shaping you in ways you will understand later. And you continue forward, steady and grounded, carrying everything you need with you already. And as this awareness deepens, you begin to notice how much lighter you feel when you stop judging yourself for not being there yet. You understand now that becoming takes time, and time is not your enemy. It is your ally when you learn how to use it wisely. Every day you stay committed, even in small ways, you are shaping your future quietly. You start seeing patterns more clearly. Patterns in your thoughts. Patterns in your habits. Patterns in the moments you feel energized versus drained. This clarity gives you power, because what you see clearly, you can change intentionally. Awareness is the first real step toward transformation. You realize that discipline does not mean being harsh with yourself. It means being honest and consistent. It means choosing what matters even when it feels easier not to. And every time you make that choice, you strengthen trust within yourself. Self-trust grows faster than confidence ever will. There are moments when the past tries to pull your attention back. Old regrets. Old doubts. Old versions of yourself. But you don't live there anymore. You acknowledge what was, you learn from it, and you return to now. The present is where your power lives. You are learning that progress doesn't always look productive from the outside. Sometimes progress looks like saying no. Sometimes it looks like resting. Sometimes it looks like walking away from what no longer aligns. These choices protect your energy and keep you moving forward. You stop expecting perfection from yourself. You aim for effort instead. Effort builds skill. Skill builds confidence. Confidence builds momentum. This is how real change happens, step by step, without pressure, without comparison. You also begin to understand that your mind needs care just like your body does. You feed it better thoughts. You give it breaks from noise. You allow silence to settle your nervous system. This mental care makes you more focused, more resilient, more present. You become more intentional with your attention. You notice how often distraction steals time without giving anything back. Slowly, you choose focus more often. Not all the time. Just more than before. And that is enough to create change. You start believing in follow-through. Not big promises, but small commitments kept. These small wins accumulate. They remind you that you are capable of showing up for yourself consistently. You don't need to know the entire journey. You only need to stay connected to the next step. The path reveals itself through movement, not waiting. So you stay here. Aware. Grounded. Moving forward at your pace. Trusting that everything you need is already within reach, and every step you take is quietly shaping the life you are building. You also begin to understand that your mind needs care just like your body does. You feed it better thoughts. You give it breaks from noise. You allow silence to settle your nervous system. This mental care makes you more focused, more resilient, more present. You become more intentional with your attention. You notice how often distraction steals time without giving anything back. Slowly, you start speaking to yourself with more patience. When mistakes happen, you correct instead of criticize. This self-respect creates a safe space for growth. You learn faster when you feel supported, even by yourself. You notice that your attention is becoming stronger. You can stay with a task longer. You can return to focus more easily. This is not talent, it is practice. And practice compounds. You also begin to feel gratitude for where you are now. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are aware, learning, and moving. Gratitude grounds you in the present and keeps ambition healthy instead of desperate. You don't rush the process anymore. You trust it. You keep showing up, adjusting gently, learning steadily. Each day adds a layer of clarity and strength. And so you continue forward, calm and consistent, building a life one intentional choice at a time, knowing that steady progress, repeated daily, creates lasting change. And as this rhythm settles into your life, you begin to realize that consistency is quietly reshaping who you are. Not overnight, not dramatically, but steadily. You are becoming someone who can rely on themselves. Someone who doesn't disappear when things get uncomfortable. That reliability changes how you see yourself. You start trusting your ability to recover. Even when a day doesn't go as planned, you no longer spiral. You reset. You learn. You move forward. This ability to recover quickly is a form of strength many people never build, and you are building it now. You notice that your focus feels cleaner. Less scattered. You are clearer about what deserves your time and what doesn't. You don't chase every distraction. You choose what aligns with your goals, even when it means letting go of temporary comfort. You also understand that growth requires space. Space to think. Space to rest. Space to process. You stop filling every moment with noise. In that space, your thoughts organize themselves. Solutions appear without force. Creativity returns. You become more patient with results. You stop asking, "Why isn't this working yet?" and start asking, "What can I refine?" This shift keeps you improving instead of quitting. Improvement compounds when quitting is no longer an option. You learn that confidence is built through evidence. Each small promise you keep to yourself becomes proof. Proof that you can trust your word. Proof that you can follow through. Proof that you are capable of change. You no longer compare your beginning to someone else's middle. You respect the process. You respect timing. You respect your own journey enough to stay focused on it. This respect creates calm where comparison once created pressure. You feel more grounded in the present. Less pulled by regret. Less pushed by anxiety. You meet each day as it is, with curiosity instead of judgment. This presence makes your actions more intentional and your progress more real. You keep going. Not because everything is easy, but because you've learned that stopping costs more than continuing. Each step forward strengthens the version of you that is learning to endure, adapt, and grow. And so you move on, steady and clear, trusting that the effort you're putting in now is shaping a future that will one day make sense of all this patience. And as you stay with this steady movement, you begin to notice that your inner world feels calmer, more organized. Thoughts that once pulled you in every direction now pass without taking control. You don't chase every idea or fear anymore. You choose what deserves your attention, and that choice gives you power. You start understanding that clarity doesn't come from having all the answers. It comes from knowing your direction. Even when details are missing, direction keeps you moving. You trust yourself enough to adjust along the way instead of stopping completely. You become more comfortable with uncertainty. Not because you enjoy it, but because you've learned that uncertainty has never actually stopped you before. You've moved through unclear moments, confusing phases, and unexpected changes, and you're still here. That realization builds quiet confidence. You also notice that your reactions are slower, more thoughtful. You don't rush to judge situations or people. You give yourself time to understand. This patience protects your energy and helps you respond in ways you won't regret later. You begin to feel stronger emotionally. Things that once felt overwhelming now feel manageable. Not easy, but manageable. You remind yourself that emotions are information, not commands. You listen to them, but you don't let them drive. You start valuing progress over perfection. You allow yourself to learn through action. Mistakes become feedback, not failures. Each attempt teaches you something useful, something that moves you forward. You also grow more confident in your ability to stand alone when needed. You don't rely as heavily on approval or validation. You know what you're building, and that's enough to keep you going. This independence brings peace. You become more intentional with your energy. You invest it where it grows, not where it drains. You step away from conversations and habits that pull you backward. This isn't avoidance, it's self-respect. You trust that your effort matters, even when results are delayed. You understand now that consistency is working in the background, shaping outcomes you can't yet see. This trust keeps you steady. And so you continue forward, grounded and patient, carrying a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are learning, growing, and becoming stronger with every intentional step you take. And as this confidence continues to settle, you begin to notice a deeper sense of balance forming inside you. You are no longer pulled to extremes. You don't swing between urgency and avoidance the way you once did. You move with intention, choosing what matters and letting go of what doesn't. you start trusting your judgment more. When a decision comes up,